Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're giving you the first third of our week 13 fantasy football starts and sits. We're here to help you make all the right decisions on who should be in your lineup, who needs to sit, and who could break your heart if you don't make the right decision. Let's start this fantasy football podcast right meow.
Hit that drop. Hello and welcome to the Fantasy Football Upside. I am Justin. That is Kyle. Thanks for dropping by our Fantasy Football podcast and YouTube channel. We appreciate it. Special shout out to Kyle for holding it down for me this week. Thanks very much for doing that for us. And today we are.
I don't know, some of the recommendations that I had to make, I was kind of choking it back too.
Yeah. But you know what? Today we're going to give you our first part of our start sit questions for week 13. And holy crap, Kyle, we're at week 13 already.
Yeah.
Definitely check out our waiver wire episode and our top start streamers and fades episodes from yesterday and earlier this week by clicking where Kyle just pointed. Kyle, what else you got for me?
Click subscribe, click the bell. Subscriptions don't matter unless you click the bell. That way you get notified every time that we upload the podcast. This week, we're giving you 3 days of breakdowns. We got 15 games this week. There's only 2 teams on bye. One of real consequence, the other one not as much as far as fantasy football goes. So we're going to break this down 3 days and do 5 games each day. There's no Thursday night football, so that's kind of how we're compromising here.
Yep.
We're moving on here to work week 13. Waivers, I don't know if they've run yet or not. I don't know what your league is doing. I don't know what your platform is doing, but I think that a lot of them are running on either Thursday or Friday. So make sure that you've got your waiver claims in and make sure that you keep an eye on what is going on because of this change. If you keep popping in and seeing, oh, hey, waivers process, you might be able to jump on and grab one of the guys that hits the waiver wire. That might be worth something to you here in the coming days. You know, there's people trying to just make the playoffs. You might be set and you can just kind of pick things up and aim for a championship game. Let us know if you have any start sit questions. Drop those down in the comments below because we're always asking. I'm sure that you guys look. That. Yeah. No one has said where that's from. Come on, guys.
Come on.
You can do it.
On,
I know it is a very small clip of a bigger thing. There's a bear.
Is the
bear?
Is the guy?
I don't know.
I know it's illegal.
Yeah, it is. All right, so let's dive in headfirst into the shallow end, start breaking down some matchups here. We've got right off the top, we've got Cleveland at Tennessee. All right, I'll take Cleveland here.
Yep.
Baker Mayfield, he's a start. Look, Tennessee is allowing the 5th most fantasy points to the QB this season. Cleveland is winning ugly, but this is a chance for Baker to kind of get some points going. They keep winning despite him. It's been kind of unfortunate, but he's still startable in a matchup that is beautiful for him. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, they're both starts as well. Guess what? 7th most fantasy points allowed to the running back this season coming out of Tennessee. Chubb is obviously the lead back, could be RB1 overall next year if he manages to stay healthy. That is something I think that people need to consider, especially if they decide to dump Baker Mayfield.
Write that down.
That's right. Write that down. All right. Kareem Hunt, start him, take the points. Austin Hooper, he's a start. They're allowing the 8th most fantasy points to tight end. Jarvis Landry, you can start obviously because he should benefit from the value that Baker Mayfield is going to provide. And I think that Rashard Higgins is a flex. I don't know. I'm not too sure about anything beyond Landry and Hooper in this offense, other than truly just the
running backs.
Yeah. So that's about it. That is it. That's it for me. What do you got on Tennessee?
All right, Tennessee Titans. I have Ryan Tannehill as a start. He only threw 22 times against my Colts last week, and he still finishes a top 10 quarterback. I think he's going to throw a little bit more this game, but so I'm thinking he might be a QB1 this week. And then Derrick Henry, set it and forget it. Moving on, AJ Brown.
So are you saying that he's the what is it, the rotisserie or whatever it is of what was that rotisserie chicken thing that Ron Popeil used to sell? Set it and forget it was the tagline.
Oh gosh, I don't even remember. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But AJ Brown for wide receivers, he's starting to become matchup proof, man. He's borderline wide receiver 1. So he had a nice bounce back game, held to very little his first game against the Colts. went off last game. So Corey Davis is potentially a wide receiver 3 going against the Cleveland Browns, who hasn't been able to stop too much. And then Jonnu Smith, man, this is a tough one. He had a 75% snap share last week, but he put up a goose egg.
Yeah.
He's a touchdown dependent tight end 1 right there.
He's semi droppable. I think
he really is. It's just
the
so
problem
hard,
is I'm not going
Kyle.
to tell anybody to drop a tight end in this season.
Exactly, because you drop him and guess what's going to happen this week?
Oh yeah.
That's what's going to happen.
I mean, look, I finally got it right and started the right tight end. I kept having the wrong tight end on my bench and kept
Sounds like
losing.
my quarterbacks.
Yeah. I kept losing as a result of that. I finally started the right one. So yeah, I know what it's like. All right, next matchup, we've got Las Vegas against the world. That's right, the New York Jets. Oh yeah, they're still playing football out there. I mean, you could argue that they are. All right. Derek Carr, he's a start. Hasn't been that great lately, but he's a start. 4th most fantasy points allowed to the QB this season, coming from the Jets. Let's see here. Josh Jacobs, he's got an ankle injury. This isn't actually a great matchup because the Jets give up so many points through the air, I think, that running back isn't as essential. And as a result, the running backs are not scoring as much. I mean,
it's not because they can't.
No, it's not because they are not good at defending against the running back. I don't think that's the thing. I think what it is that the other team scores in 3 plays. They're all pass plays going for, 50 plus yards, it seems.
Yeah.
So I've got to, if you, keep an eye on Jacobs' status. If he is able to go, I wouldn't expect a whole lot more than flex value, to be completely honest.
Okay.
Devontae Booker, if Josh Jacobs is out, I think he brings low end RB2 and high end flex value. That's about it on that. As far as the pass game goes, I think you can try to roll out there with Henry Ruggs. He is doing okay, but the real guy, an unsung hero on a lot of teams this year, actually, is Nelson Aguilar. Believe it or not, the dude's putting up a consistent level of value. He's facing the 7th. He's facing a defense that's allowing the 7th most fantasy points to the wide receiver this year. Darren Baller should ball out. 4th most fantasy points to the tight end this year. But my note is he should be a beast here if John Gruden isn't dumb. I don't know. It depends.
Once again, you're asking maybe for too much.
I might be asking for too much. That is true. So we'll see. I don't know. You're not going to sit Darren Waller. You're just not going to do that.
Don't be that guy.
So yeah, roll out there and hope that he capitalizes. What do you have on the Jets? Is there? Nope. There's not any green. Let's see what you got.
There's no green. There's just a on a couple of them here. So Frank Gore, he is a desperation flex. The Raiders do give up the 4th most points to opposing running backs, and Frank Gore's getting all of the work, and that's because LaMichael Pirine is on IR and he's not coming back anytime soon. So that's like man, if it's the opposite of our name, the fantasy football upside. It's the complete opposite. Denzel Mims, he's starting to, he's finished as a low end wide receiver 3 the last 2 weeks. I mean, granted, it's like 34 and 36, but if my math is correct, that's right there. But I project that it will happen again. It's one of those things where the guy is very talented. It's just the people throwing him the ball is just not very talented. And Sam Darnold could be
Joe Flacco
broken.
and
Sam Darnold. Flacco, Darnold came back, and man, hopefully they get a good coach that's going to coach Sam Darnold back up, because the guy is still like 24 years old.
Dude, Adam Gase is a quarterback whisperer. I don't know what you're talking about. Because Adam Gase is
the
worst. That's right.
Nailed it.
Yeah. All right. Jacksonville against Minnesota Vikings. Here we go. Minnesota. Oh, don't you know? That's actually Cudahy Dutch. Sorry, that's like southeastern Wisconsin there for you. All right, so Gardner Minshew, I have a note on him, and it's why is he not starting now that he's healthy over Mike Glennon? Here you go. What does Gardner Minshew and Mitch Trubisky have in common?
I don't know.
Neither one's apparently better than Mike Glennon.
Mr. Neck.
Yeah. There you go. All right. So Mike Glennon could be QB super flex value. I doubt it. I'm really seriously skeptical of that one. James Robinson, you're starting him, and you're going to watch the only running back to score double-digit points in PPR every week of this season go out there and kill it for you yet again.
It's a good little tidbit.
That is, yeah. DJ Chark, he's been limited in practice. He's a start if he's able to play, but expect a lot less from him if he is able to go. The guy that I'm paying attention to, and unfortunately so are a lot of other people, is Keelan Cole. He's getting a lot of targets lately. He's probably the guy who's going to capitalize in this offense if the passing game is able to get going at all. Laviska Shenault is losing targets all over the place. This offense has basically become completely predictable. They're not creative at all as long as Minshew is not at the helm. Whenever Minshew's out there, it's a little bit more off book, a little bit more off script. And as a result, guys like Laviska Shenault can capitalize.
Right.
That's kind of depressed his value now that they've got Mr. Timing Route, Mike Glennon or whatever his name is. I don't even know. It's Glennon. I'll just call him Glennon. That's it. I don't have anything else. Basically, start Keelan Cole, start
James Robinson.
I
got you, man. Well, for Minnesota, I have Kirk Cousins as a 2 QB or super flex play. It's just very limited upside. Dalvin Cook, he's banged up last week. He played through. As long as he is going to play, he's always got something, it seems like, when it comes to Dalvin Cook, but he's also always going to be top 3 running back play for you. So don't overthink it. Start him. Be happy. Adam Thielen has been activated off the COVID list, so that was a very unique situation on that one, but comes back. It doesn't sound like he actually ever had COVID, but he comes back as a wide receiver 1 potential, low-end wide receiver 1. And then Justin Jefferson should be a good matchup for Jefferson. It's, he's been a wide receiver 2 as long as Cousin passes more than 25 times. It's just every once in a while in the game script, if they want to win, a lot of times they don't have him throw more than 25 times. But I think they will in this one. I think there's going to be a lot of scoring going on in this game, and I think it's going to come through the air quite a bit as well.
I think that Kirk Cousins and Kyle Rudolph both made it into the starter streamers and fades episode as starters and streamers, because there's the extreme possibility that this turns into a track meet kind of, just a high scoring affair, and that's going to favor the passing game.
I know Irv Smith Jr. is still kind of banged up, and I get what you're talking about with that play. When it comes to tight end, you're looking for someone that's running a good amount of routes, and with Irv Smith Jr. on the mend, Kyle Rudolph is.
Well, I also gave the caveat that if Thielen wasn't back, that Rudolph's value is increased because the targets are more available there. So they're obviously not now. All right, so let's move on here to Cincinnati at Miami. Brandon Allen. Okay. Yes, if you're in a 2 QB or a super flex league, this is why I don't like 2 QB and super flex. Playing dudes like Brandon Allen, right?
Brandon Allen.
Yeah. And even if you start him in that, you should worry. And you should probably question your sanity. Joe Mixon's still on IR, and coach is not really willing to commit to whether or not he's going to make it back this year.
I don't think he will.
I don't think he will.
You talked about it.
I did. I said that early on, that I thought that he had the same injury that Cam Newton had, and that if it's even just a moderate issue, it doesn't matter. They can't play. And that if they try to, they make it worse. It gets really bad really quick. So Gio Bernard, decent matchup. He's got flex value this week. Tyler Boyd, this is a tough matchup, but you're not going to shy away from Tyler Boyd. He did have a little bit of a down week, I want to say, last week. And so that's a little bit problematic. But I think it's going to be okay. Obviously, you're dealing with Brandon Allen throwing the ball, so use at your own risk, I guess, right?
No love for my guy T. Higgins with Brandon Allen under center.
I know it's
like it was tough for you. Probably you're looking at that. It's like, oh gosh, the talent.
Yeah, I mean, it is there, but this is. I don't think
tough matchup with a terrible quarterback.
Yeah, this isn't like Deontay Johnson with Duck and Dent last year, right? With Duck Hodges and Dent Rudolph, and Divot. Duck and Divot, I think is what I called him. If I get anything, my hair just ain't gonna lay right.
That's
Little-
a great
little
quote
Christmas
going
Easter
into this
egg.
season.
Yeah. my hair just ain't gonna lay right. That's a throwback to him getting hit in the
microwave
head.
either, right?
Fans forget who you are for a couple hours. But no, that's just a throwback to the fact that he got his own helmet used against him as a weapon. From the offseason, I started calling him divot or dent. Either way, it's interchangeable. It works either way. But I don't think that this is a Deontay and Dent situation where you've got a decent enough QB who's not going to, like, he can throw it within 5 yards. We don't really know that. This offensive line is so bad. They had an offensive line in Pittsburgh last year.
Yeah.
They could at least get the ball out of the QB's hands, and then Deontay Johnson could make something happen. T. Higgins has that level of talent, could do that. I don't see it being the same situation exactly.
Right.
That's what I've got on Cincinnati. What do you have on Miami?
Ryan Fitzpatrick, I mean, he'd be a great streamer if he gets the start again. And of course, is all dependent on Tua's availability. He is practicing. So there was talk out there that he was going to try to, push it out there to get, play last week. And they ended up putting him on doubtful. And then, of course, that almost always means that he's going to be out. So we're going to see. I mean, if Tua does start, I still wouldn't really start him in there. He's not a guy that's going to sling it like a Ryan Fitzpatrick. I mean, he's a no risk it, no biscuit type guy when it comes to Ryan Fitzpatrick against the two of them. Myles Gaskin, if he's activated off IR, and of course, if he's activated and he practices, I think this would be a really good start.
Yeah.
He played really well up until the injury. Salvin Ahmed, if he is active and Gaskin is not, he could be a decent flex, but he's also dealing with a shoulder injury. Devontae Parker with good old Ryan Fitzpatrick back under center. Let's give him 14 targets. So
Devontae Parker was Keenan Allen before Keenan Allen was Keenan Allen. Like all the target machine last year, dude. There was a game that they went over 20 last year.
So once again, this is kind of you're still going to start him if Tua's getting a start, but you're really liking him even more if Ryan Fitzpatrick, who's just going to hone in on him. And then, our good friend Mike Gesicki. He caught a touchdown last week, Kyle. Finally, again.
Other than that, he's a ghost.
Pretty much. So if you're super desperate, if you're hoping for a dream here, then maybe.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I think that if they start Tua, you have to say, are they aiming for a good pick this year? Is that what their aim is? Because Fitzpatrick gets them into the playoffs with that defense. They can sneak in. They still are within a game, I think, of the playoffs or something like that.
Yeah.
So, all right, last one we've got is Indianapolis Colts at the Houston Texans. Why don't you break down the Colts here?
Phillip Rivers, I think this could be a pretty good play, especially if you're in a 2 QB or Superflex. You're automatically going to play, but I think this is a pretty decent one.
I think I had him as a streamer.
I think so. Yeah. I think you have him as a waiver as well. So
it might have been a waiver pick. Yeah,
I think as a waiver pickup, I think you had him down there. But Jonathan Taylor, he's been activated off the COVID list as well. So start against the Texans, who give up the third most points to running backs. With that, I would still start Nyheim Hines. The guy is still getting some action when it comes from the air. So he's really going to have a lot more value in the PPR, of course, compared to a standard league.
I would throw him in flex, though. I wouldn't.
Yeah, that's actually, I noticed PPR start.
Well,
flex
only. You're thinking of him as flex value. You're obviously, that's not one of the late games, so don't put him in your flex. Strategy wise, you should always have of your latest players in flex so that you have the most opportunity.
Unless you're one of those weird ones and somehow you have all early games or something like that.
Yeah. Or every game is at the early slot.
Yeah, like, one on the Eastern goes, All right, I can do it. But so when it comes to the wide receiver room, man, Michael Pittman Jr., I'm still going to run him out there. I mean, he got 9 targets last week, but he only had 28 yards. So I think it's one of those things that targets will stay steady, and I look for him to bring a wide receiver 2 value if he continues to get 9 or more targets. It just didn't connect last week.
No. I mean,
but
rookie,
tight ends
are still.
Yeah, tight ends is always kind of up in the air when it comes to the Colts, but Trey Burton is still a guy out there that's, another touchdown last week. So you got to keep him on the radar.
Yep.
That's what we got for the Colts.
All right. And then we have half a team down in Houston who's still trying. Deshaun Watson, my note says, wow, he lost almost all of his targets in 1 week's time.
Yes, he did.
He lost Kenny Stills. He lost Randall Cobb. He lost Will Fuller, or rather Will Fuller lost him because Will Fuller is probably no longer a Texan. That's my guess. 6 weeks out. They also lost, is it Courtney Roby? Is that his name? They had a cornerback who also got a 6. Yeah.
Bradley Roby.
Bradley Roby. He also got a 6-game PED suspension.
Yep.
Too. Same time.
All
right. So
taking the same kind of supplements.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, they visited the same doctor for the exact same medical issue because that's what both of their statements that they posted on Instagram said, that they had visited a doctor in the off season. It's like, it doesn't matter, dude. There's a banned list and you know what's banned and what's not. I mean, if you're going to a doctor, it makes it even more ridiculous. I mean, but like I said before, if you had Will Fuller, you were expecting him to miss time when you had him. You just thought it would be from an injury instead it's from PED. Which prevented his injuries probably. All right, here's a blast from the past. David Johnson, he's been activated off of IR and he's playable as a running back 2/flex if he is added to the 53-man roster. Yeah. So pay attention to that. See if he's actually added to the roster, not just activated off of IR. Yep. He needs to get in there, get some practice time in. I would start him though. Duke Johnson is a flex at best, even if David Johnson is not back. And then Brandon Cooks. Who else are they going to throw the ball to now, guys? That's it. It's Brandon Cooks.
Come on down, Kiki Cutie. He's still on the team.
He is. It's what's the over under on number of plays before he hurts his ankle?
No, it's a hamstring for him.
Is it his hamstring?
Always a hamstring.
Always a hamstring. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a half game dude. Like like you expect Will Fuller to miss games for you, right? You expect Kiki Cutie to miss half games for you that he's able to start. You put him in your lineup and you're like, well, there was one series. Thanks, dude. Yeah. But unless he's on the same regimen that Will Fuller was on, he just managed to pee clean. He just managed to pee clean. So yeah. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this episode. We've still got 2 more episodes to break down for you over the next couple of days here, but that's going to do it for the first 5 games. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well as the bell so you're notified when we upload those episodes. Hang out with us for a little while. We say some stupid stuff. We try to make some jokes. Laugh at how funny we aren't. That's cool too. But make sure you double check your waiver wire, and we'll throw the waiver wire episode up on the screen here as well as the starter streamers and fades. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
See you guys.